Alrighty, well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we are finally starting to build our crane. So I'm just kind of starting with a bit of a base, just whatever. None of this is welded together, which is probably what I should do. Where are you? Weld. We'll weld everything to there. So this will be like our one section. It'll make sense here in a minute. Alright, so we have the base of our crane. Or I should say, one section of our crane. All right, everything is welded. So if I press play, good, it doesn't fall apart. All right, so now that we have our section of crane established, now we need to build. We need a ladder. Now I don't know what there's a specific spacing, I'm not sure. All right, so let's see what that does. Can we climb that? Oh, we can. Okay, perfect. So that is our ladder. Now we'll get rid of that. See if we can still get on top. All right, so these are our individual sections. All right. Now, one of these is going to need to be the top where the crane is, and that's going to be this one here. This one's going to be a bit different. So, let's see. And then we're going to do a couple of things with the truck and the trailer, and it's going to look really cool, and it's going to be really simple. Because I've done a lot of thinking and a lot of testing, and I think in part, there is a way to make the game fun, but simple at the same time, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we have that. Now what we want to do is we kind of want to build our high-rise crane. I was looking at some pictures of it. Yeah, I don't know. We want something like this. Maybe something like this. right? You climb up here, and then we have the sections of it, and then we get up into the actual crane itself. So, and that will also be brought in on sections. That's going to be interesting. So let's see. So we take this, we climb up to there. So this will be the platform here, I guess. Now, of course, there's going to be railing on here. So we get the section up there. And then now on top of this, let's see. So that is where the crane is. Oh, you have to come up and crawl through. Okay. Now that's not welded. Let's just see what we have here. Let's see what we have. Is there enough room to climb around? Does it kind of make sense? Okay, there is enough room to climb around. All right, perfect. So then what we need to do is we'll take this one here. Kind of make some stairs. All right, let's see. What I'm getting is this is probably gonna have to be over here. All right, and these, I guess, they're a little bit close together, seems like. Stairs is kind of a different... Wobbly stairs. I'll be fixing those up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we get up to the top here, and then this is where the crane entrance to the crane is going to be. So this step here is going to be the top step. And the crane is going to rest on there. Okay. So we can do that. And then if we duplicate this, let's change the part color just so we can see the different parts here. This now becomes the crane. And then what we can do is we can just go model. We want to insert a... Where are we here? Attachment, constraint. What type of constraint? A hinge. Now, if we want to make sure that we're centered, we can just right click. We can say, oh, and this one's welded. Insert object attachment. It'll insert an attachment into the center of the object. That's the easiest way to make sure you're centered. Just like that. And then now, of course, what we can do is then we can say a hinge from there to there. And then we can take this position and we can make it that position. Bada bing, bada boom. And now the hinge constraint. Okay, so now the next thing we need is a seat. So we may as well right click. Let's see, insert object. Vehicle seat or a seat. Yeah, we can make it a vehicle seat. Alright, then now we need to sit on it and make sure it's facing the right direction. It is perfect. Now it doesn't need to be a vehicle seat. It could just be a regular seat. And then what we can do is we can just say if script.parent, let's see, we can insert an object, a script here, and we can say script.parent.touched. We can say connect function. All right, and we'll say player. And we can say, instead of player, we'll say hit, actually. And we'll say if hit.parent, find first child, humanoid, then, just get it to print human. There we go. And then that way, if we sit in the seat, it'll say we're a human. And if it doesn't recognize us, it'll say you're not a human. That's important. Yeah, human, not human, because obviously it touched a different part. So it found out that we have a humanoid. So now what we're going to do is we're going to call this. We're going to rename this to crane. functions. Now, if you remember when we built, is it the car? So basically what we do is we want to insert a screen interface, and then in this screen interface we want to insert an object, a local script, and that's it. And then inside the local script, I believe, okay, I'm gonna have to open up a, let's see here, let's save this one to file. Now let's open for file. I think this is the truck. What is it? I think it's this one here. Yeah, the beater. All right, so yeah, that's right. This here. Take that code, we'll decipher it, we'll see how it works. Okay. So what happens is in this game, when you sit in the seat, that should be the vehicle script. When you sit in the seat, that's oh yeah, okay. Okay, so let's slow down here. Let's slow down here. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so when you sit in the seat, if it's human, then what we want to say is we're going to say local interface equals, interface equals, we'll say script dot parent dot screen GUI, and we'll say interface, not instance, interface, clone dot parent equals let's see. We say, hold on a second here, hold on. Hit the parent dot name. Okay. So inside the seat, we need to insert an object. We need a string value, and we need to call this player name. Then when we sit inside the seat, we need to say script dot parent dot player name dot value equals hit dot parent dot name. Then we need to say local let me see here. I should have just looked at the car. Or not even. I'll just look at the truck. What's going on here? What's going on here? It clones it when you activate it. That's right. It clones it when you activate it. So, is there a sleeper on this one? There is a sleeper. Does it have the... It does have the seat in it. Aha! Okay, so here's what we need to do. I was gonna have it so it activates once you just sit inside the seat. But what we're gonna need to do is we need to add a prompt. And then when you sit down, the prompt is gonna make you sit. So in this case, what it does is it gets the proximity prompt, right? Car is script of parent to parent. So we'll probably, I don't think we need this. Seat is, yeah, proximity prompt parent. Oh, I see. I see. So what it does is car could be script of parent of parent. This whole thing's going to make me sit. If seat.occupant then, it's going to disable the proximity prompt. And it's going to make me sit in it. Otherwise, if it isn't occupied, the proximity prompt is going to stay activated. I know it's pretty fancy code for that. Problem is, this is not enabled. There we go. Perfect. So, activating the proximity prompt makes you want to sleep, in this case. Once you activate the proximity prompt, here it says get property change signal occupant, and then it does this activating the prompt. Now, as far as the proximity prompt goes, this is all it is here. Proximity prompt triggered, connect function player, seat sit. That's all that matters. This actually doesn't really matter. All this does is activates the proximity prompt and deactivates the proximity prompt. So we can get rid of that, and I think we can get rid of that. Not the seat. We can probably get rid of that, and it will likely still work. Yep. Except it didn't deactivate the proximity prompt. So in here we could just say script parent dot enabled equals false, just like that, and then we'll get rid of that because we're activating it now. All right. So what we do is that yeah, and then there will be a button that will reactivate it. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to say script.parent parent. So we want to get the screen interface, and then what we want to do is we want to clone it to the player.gui. All right, so let's see if it does that. Yes, it did. No, it did not. Maybe it's a clone dot parent, maybe. Dot parent equals player. Player GUI, that might be it. Now we're just trying to set up the crane. Oh, value, what? Oh, am I not able to see the... Maybe I'm looking in the wrong section for the... There it is there. There it is there. Okay, so now we can do that. So now that we have the screen GUI, and we'll just call this crane functions. Just like that. And then in here, we'll call this crane functions. Okay, so then when you're inside the crane, what it does is when you press W, so in this case, it's a little different. It goes to fire server go. So now it says the value is script.parent.value. So what we need to do is we need to insert object. We need to insert a bool value. Is it a bool value? No. It's an object value. We need to insert an object. We need an object value. That's right. Okay. Then, inside the seat, we need to insert an object. We need a remote event. And then we also need another local script. Not a local script, a regular script. And we're going to call this crane operations. Now, this remote event is going to be called activate. All right, and then in here we're going to say local on equals script parent activate. So we need to say on server event connect function, and we need to say a player variable. All right, now what we need to say is if variable is equal to go, then what are we going to do? So this is where we need to control the name of this crane. All right, this whole crane. All right, just so I'm on the, that's that crane there. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to name this. We need to name this. So for now, this is going to be, player.names crane. Yeah, because we have the name of the player here, fire server go, and it should be player.getMouse. So in this case, I guess actually that part doesn't really matter. The name of the crane doesn't really matter. What matters is the location of the pivot and everything else. That's what matters. This here, hinge constraint. So let's take this, let's put this into the seat, and let's group this into a folder, and let's call this crane parts, just so that way we can kind of stay organized. All right, so now we have the hinge constraint. This will be the main pivot, okay? And then we're going to turn this into a motor. All right, do we want to limit? Not yet. Maximum torque, make that infinite. All right, now what we're going to do is crane operations. We want to say script.parent.crane parts. So let's make a local for that. Let's say local operations equals script.parent.crane parts. So that is this folder here. So then we can say operations dot main pivot dot angular velocity equals 1. And now when we sit in the seat and we press W, we should start to spin. Crane functions. Oh, you know why? Okay, now what we need to do in order for this to work is we need to set up the, I have to look at open from file. We need to set up the interface. So when we activate the prompt, we need to set up the properties of the interface, meaning we need to bind the bool value, the object value, to the function in the workspace or in the on the vehicle. So to do that, we just need a little bit of code in the prompt, which is this here. All right, so what we need to do is we need to say, before we clone the interface, where's this? Let's see, show and explore. We need a script.parent.crane functions.value. So what do? We're naming the value, and then we're saying it equals the remote event. All right, so we need to say script.parent crane functions value equals script.parent activate activate. Now, do I need to say activate value? We need to say value. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look at that. Cool. So then for our crane operations, now that we have that, that is a single function. And then of course, when we stop pressing W, it ends that, it fires stop. So then we could say, totally different. Just like that. So, as you can see, we are going to be building a super simple crane. Once this is done, the thing will go out and in, and it'll do that, and I mean that's it. It'll have lights on it. That's pretty much the crane, right? So from there, this could be called main crane, right? And now from there, we need to decide, okay, how do we want the rest of the crane to look, right? So this is the seat here. We're definitely going to need to model a cab off of that seat. I'm going to turn the constraints off for a minute. Let's see. Maybe something like that. All right. Now, I mean, some of it's gonna have to be glass. It's just meant to be a basic cab. Right, and then this here obviously is our glass. I think that's cool. We can put glass windows on the sides. Where are we at? Where's our runtime at? 38 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. I'd say we've done quite a bit in a little bit amount of time. There we go. So that's our crane. So what's next? What's next? What's next? The arm? I guess the arm and the weights? Pretty much it. yeah, now it's, now it's gonna fall over. So this part here and this part here need to be massless. Cool. Now we have a high-rise crane. Okay, so in the next video we will work on obviously making this thing look a little bit better, and then what we'll do is we'll put our weight block, as it were. Right, basically we're gonna make a elevator. So if we go, it's gonna be a prismatic constraint, and it can go from, it can even go from there to there, to be honest. Sure. And then what really matters is that position. Okay, now where is this? Now this should be fun. So now we got to test this out. So we need to say we're going to make it a motor, and we're going to make it infinite max motor force. Okay, and we're going to say limits enabled, and its upper limit can be 20. More than that can be 100. Sure. Now we need to test this. So we take the prismatic constraint and we make velocity 1. And we'll press play and that thing should be moving. Very slowly. Cool. So now what we need to do is I'll restart the music and we'll code this. And then that will be the end of part 1 for the crane. So we don't need this one anymore. May as well save this to Roblox. Okay. So copy the user input service. All right, button number 2. Enum key code. I want this to be up arrow. Or is it up? I guess it's up. Alright, and this will be out. And this will be out stop. And then in here, we'll have our copy this. Because we're going to be adding to this. Welds and other stuff. All right, and then instead of what we want to do is we want to say operations. So we want to say operations dot prismatic constraint velocity equals, let's say 5. All right. It's probably a bit fast. I'll have to have a couple of ropes and a few things to finish off the rigging. Oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Cool, so that worked. Alright, it really is that simple. Then we need to add a weld, so that way when we pick stuff up, it stays in one spot, it doesn't move all around. And then of course we want to reverse this. So if we copy that, and let's see, we'll add another button in here. This will be in. And then in stop, and then here, same thing. Actually, here we'll copy that. And then this will be down. And then in here, I don't know if we can do negative velocity for that. Oh yeah, we can. Cool. So there you go, forwards and backwards. I guess it should be WS, A, and D just for simplicity, to be honest. Yeah, out, go, stop, out and in should be W and S. Where are we here? Out should be W, just makes more sense. And in should be S. Oh, this is cool. And then, of course, this should be A because it's a pivot. And then we will double this just so we can keep track of them. And this will be D. Alright, and then this will be go, and this will be go right. And then right stop. Then we'd have a button for the lights, get a button for all kinds of stuff. And then when it's moving, maybe what we'll do on the interface is we'll have a button that'll come up on the screen. So they'll know when this part of the crane is being activated, when that part of the crane is being activated. Oh yeah, there we go. Super simple, easy to use. Okay, so now we need to sort of finish it off. So that's going to be in the next video. So thank you so much for watching the beginning of this super simple crane. Yeah, we're going to have to make the top part of this modular. Stay tuned. I'll see you all in the next one.